So this is a difference between a wise person and a Ishvara. And that difference is because of what? Even Ishvara is Brahman. He knows he is Brahman. Wise person, he also says he is Brahman. Then where is the difference? Difference is in Upadhi. One is having a Upadhi of ignorance, so that Tula Vidya continues. Other is not having a Upadhi of ignorance and has a Upadhi of a Maya. And so the difference is due to difference in a Upadhi only. So even after enlightenment also, even after knowing oneself that I am Brahman and everything is Brahman, Ishvara is also Brahman, there is no difference between me and Ishvara alone. We'll be seeing that. Actually there is nothing other than Ishvara. That's what we are going to see now. This mantra, these two mantras very uniquely reveals. We feel that, we have to do Bhagatyaga, Bhagatyaga, Bhagatyaga. And so Ishvara also, from there also something is to be removed. Nothing to be removed. Really speaking, what is there is just Ishvara. Really speaking that. Other than that, what you think that this is me is all ignorance. Anyway, we'll be seeing that. That's something very amazingly it is done here. Without Bhagatyaga Lakshana, there is Aikyam. Jiva has to just remove this ignorance. If ignorance is gone, that just Ishvara is there, not Brahman. Ishvara is there. That's what we are seeing. That's uniquely it has been revealed here. The Aikyam, very, very beautiful. And so, after knowing the truth about oneself, still there will be difference between immediate meaning of Jiva and the Jiva and this immediate meaning of the word Ishvara. There is a difference, and that difference is due to Upadhi alone. So wise person also, there is a difference between wise person and Ishvara. One is in terms of from whom the one ignorance has still not gone, and that is secondary ignorance. So that's how he doesn't know the whole creation in detail. Whereas Ishvara is one who is Sarvagnya, Sarvavit, who knows everything in general. There is no such thing called ignorance at all for Ishvara, and therefore both the types of ignorances are not there at all. So he is Sarvagnya, Sarvavit, and wise person is Sarvagnya, not Sarvavit. He doesn't, because of a difference in Upadhi. So immediate meaning of a Jiva and Ishvara, there will be a difference. So far, if the Upadhi is removed, definitely both are one alone. So some people think that this implies that since wise person also does not know the creation in detail, and Ishvara knows in detail, and therefore, so there is a Bheda also, there is a difference also, and there is a non-difference also between a wise person and Ishvara. That is, and they give an example that it is like it's like a tree, in which there are differences in form of branches and leaves and roots, etc., and so on. At the same time, there is a non-difference because it is just a single tree. So this is the contention of this Veda Vedavada. So, but it is not acceptable because difference is due to Upadhi. Between a wise person and Ishvara, the difference is due to Upadhi, that is which is Mithya, and so difference also becomes Mithya. If differences are due to Upadhi, Upadhis are Mithya. If it is a ignorance is Mithya. If it is a Maya is a Mithya. Then definitely the differences between them also is Mithya. If Upadhi is Mithya, differences due to Upadhi also is Mithya. And so, empirically, means in Vyavara, with an immediate meaning, with a Vachyartha, with a direct meaning, you can say, there is a difference. But essentially, both are one alone. Ishvara is a Brahman, Jiva also is a Brahman. And so, there is a non-duality as such. Anyway, this, what is Satyam, what is Mithya has to be clear. If that is not clear, this Veda Vedavada will come. If Satyam Mithya are clear, then definitely Veda Vedavada will not stay, only Abheda stays. Because Veda is due to the Mithya, Vedas are due to this Upadhi which are Mithya, and therefore the Veda also is Mithya. Anyway, now the mantra says, Yasya Esha Mahima Bhuvi, Yas Sarvagnya Sarvavit, Yasya Esha Mahima Bhuvi, clearly indicating Ishvara. So this is his glory. In this glory on the earth, on the universe. The whole universe is his glory. But Bhashyakara describes very beautifully in form of orders basically. So being the cause of the creation, well, the sustenance and dissolution is this glory, is Ishvara's glory. And this he is a Sarvavit, and therefore he alone is manifest in the form of this Jagat. And that's how, so wise person, well, definitely cannot create. Why wise person cannot create? You say Brahman creates everything, the wise person also can create. No, but the Upadhi is Ajnana. You need anything what you want to create, you should know. You should have a knowledge of the whole thing. And therefore, so definitely Ishvara being a Sarvavit, well, definitely it's due to Upadhi only, Maya Upadhi only, but Sarvavit alone is manifest in the form of this Jagat, and therefore the whole universe is his glory, because he alone manifests in the form of this creation. And his glory is this universe, then his glory is manifest also. And therefore, all the five elements and these all infinite elementals are his glory. And then now the omniscience of Ishvara, well, basically alone is manifest in the form of sun and moon and everything, stars and everything. All other forms, well, that are there in this universe are his glory, because he alone has manifest in this form of universe, because he is a Sarvavit. And so one's mind, senses, body, etc. also is manifestation. And that has been told very beautifully in Bhashyam there, in this Mundakopanisad mantra itself. Yasya ime dyava pruthivyau shasane vidhrute tishtatah. Actually it has been taken from Brihadaranyaka. So this from Akshara Brahmanam. Akshara Brahmana appears in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad at two places. And and there it has been told there. Yasya ime dyava pruthivyau shasane vidhrute tishtatah. So, well, the sun and moon and stars and all are his manifestation. That's his glory. And then Surya Chandramasau Yasya Shasane Ala Chakravat Ajasram Brahmatah. So, and this, Surya Chandramasau Yasya Shasane, the sun and moon and all, they go on moving non-stop, day after day, like a wheel. And then Yasya Shasane Saritah Sagarasya Swagocharam Na Atikramanti. Well, because of whose mandate alone, the ocean remains as ocean, keeping its limit, not swelling further. But Swamiji, it swells further. It's a tsunami. Yeah, but that's also within the law, within the order. So when some earthquake occurs, then only it happens. So that is also within the order. So otherwise it doesn't cross its boundary. Anyway, so all the glories, one's mind, senses and everything, well, are his glories. And because I have not created, that's an intelligent manifestation. The whole body is an intelligent manifestation. Mind is an intelligent manifestation. And my intelligence doesn't work in order to create that. Then somebody's intelligence must be there, some conscious being's intelligence must be there, and that is Ishvara. I have a Upadhi called Ajnanam. So how I am going to create? In fact, what is there I am not able to understand due to ignorance. What is there, I am not able to understand. Where is the question of creating it? So, still, what is mind? It's a big mystery. And this body is a mystery for the human being. Everything is a mystery. Because so much knowledge is involved, my God. And therefore, that much knowledge I don't have. Or that knowledge in detail I don't have, because I have a Ajnanam Upadhi. And therefore, one who is a Sarvavit, one who knows everything in detail also, can create. And he alone manifests in this form. His knowledge alone manifests in this form. So, and therefore definitely, so whole universe is his Mahima, his glory. And few of them Bhashyakara narrates it. And here word Esha has been used. Yasya Mahima Esha. Esha means that which is very well known, which is available for perception. The whole universe is available for perception. So it is, and therefore his Mahima, his glory also is available for perception. That's how Esha Mahima has been used. Mahima means a glory. Esha Mahima, this glory, which is available for everyone's perception. So, but Swamiji, this is a Mahima that itself we don't know. Yeah, that's correct. So once you know Ishvara, then you can appreciate it. So the universe is there, available for perception. But universe is a glory of Ishvara that requires a knowledge. Certain background knowledge is required about Ishvara. then only he is abhinna nimittopadana karanam, etc. Or he is a sarvagneha sarvavit, etc. Then only you can say that. So definitely, one who knows Ishvara, well, can tell that this universe is a manifestation of his glory only. And Bhashyakara says further also, Tatha sthavaram jangamam cha yasya shasane niyatam. So whatever sthavaram and jangamam, well, whatever is moving and whatever does not move, all his glory. So like the mountains who do not walk around well, that is his glory. I mean, which should not move, does not move. That is his glory. That is his rule. That is the order. Which does not, which should not move, does not move. Which is not supposed to move, does not move. That is called Ishvara. Ish dhatu is there, right? Means to rule. His rule is something like this. So, which is not supposed to move, does not move. Which is supposed to move, moves. And that is this air, Vayu. So, that's how the name of a Vayu is Sadagatihi. Sadagatihi. All the time, either in one part of the globe or the other part, it keeps on moving. So, that is how it is. So, which is supposed to move, moves. Why? Because Ishvara's Shasanam is there. Whose rule is there. That is his glory. So, and which is not supposed to cross its limits, does not cross. And which is supposed to cross limit in a certain condition, will definitely cross. That is also a rule. And therefore, this is how it is. And because of whose mandate, well, alone the seasons do not interchange their time and occur in keeping with the order. And the movement of the sun also towards northern and southern direction also does not change. And also of whose mandate alone, because of whose mandate, well, then the agent of action, this has been told by Bhashyakara. Tatha kartaram karmani phalancha yash shasanat swasam kalam nati vartante. So karta remains karta, and then he performs an action, and that there will be a result of an action. This is also a law of karma. Well, that will remain. That will remain within. So that is the law. So it is in the form of the order, that is Ishvara. And so if a seed is sown, well, basically, definitely it is supposed to bear fruit also. Only after few years. No, Swamiji, I have planted a mango tree which gives a fruit within 3 years, mango. That is also within law. There is a plant biology. And therefore, definitely, so there also that possibility is there, which you explore. And that the intelligence with which you explore also has a possibility to explore. Everything is in order. So human intelligence has a possibility to explore the law, the order. Well, that also is given. And therefore, ultimately, this is how Pujya Swamiji describes, Ishvara as order. So definitely, this is how. So, well, if there is a interference possible in plant biology, and by which you can get a more crop or you can get an early crop, and all that is also within order. So you may feel that, well, we have interfered in this so-called order. Yeah, but that possibility is there. Okay, you have not created that law. You have discovered that law. That discovery of the law is also possible through your intelligence. That is also within order. Everything is order. So that's how everything is given. Everything is just given to you. Anyway, and kidneys and liver do not interchange their jobs also. So that is also within the order, right? This is Ishvara. Where will I see Ishvara? If everything is in order. After 100 years, 2121, at this date today, the sunrise, they can say, and they give also sometime. After 100 years, the sunrise will be at what time and sunset will be what time. They are able to tell. They give, I think in Times of India or somewhere I have seen also. They are able to tell. So that this much is an order. This is the law. Ishvara means one is a ruler. Means his rule can never be transgressed. And if anything is transgressed, that also is a rule. That's also is within the rule. This is the glory of Ishvara, whose mandate is unchallengeable. This is Ishvara's glory on this universe. We are talking mostly of the earth. Bhashyakara gives an example of Bhuvi. Because here in the mantra it has been told Yasya Esha Mahima Bhuvi. So Bhu means earth. So you can say, well, Yasya Ishwarasya, well, basically Esha Mahima. This is the glory. Bhuvi means on the earth of this Ishvara. This is his glory on this earth. Okay. This is the immediate meaning of the word Tat. This Yah Sarvagnya Sarvavit, who is omniscient, one who knows everything in general, one who knows everything in detail, and this entire creation, etc., is his glory, because that is his intelligent manifestation. He is a Sarvavit, he knows everything in detail, he alone manifests in this form of universe. So whatever is there in this universe is his glory. This is equal to the immediate meaning of the word Tat. This is Ishvara. Right? Now you will see this Ishvara, this such a Ishvara which is immediate meaning of the word Tat is directly equated with the Tvampada. Directly. Nothing is to be removed here. And, well, anyway, so because this Tatpada means this Ishvara, whose manifestation is this universe. Universe is which is given, and that is non-separate from the giver, etc., etc. Now, so Tvampada, you see now the second mantra. Mantra number 8. Manomayaha prana sharira neta pratishtitaha anne hridayam sannidhaya. So, Manomayaha, it has come down here now. The same Ishvara he is called Manomaya. Manomaya Prana Sharira Neta, because same Ishvara alone is in the form of mind. Whole creation I told you is non-separate from Ishvara. He is a Sarvavit, and therefore everything is his manifestation. Therefore this mind, now think, this mind, individual's mind of a so-called individual is basically Ishvara. Now here, so the mind basically, this the same Ishvara alone is in the form of a mind, and Prana Sharira Neta, he is the one who leads the subtle body from one physical body to the another. Well, so this will take up that part later. Now here, what is available is Ishvara that we have to see now. See, then later it says, Divye Brahmapure Vyomni Hyesha Atma Pratishtitaha. Divye Brahmapure. So this Atma, well, this is self-evident Atma. Now we are talking about here in individual. This self-evident Atma abides in the space in Buddhi. So Vyomni Brahmapure. Divya we will take up later. Vyomni Brahmapure, this much we will take first. Eshaha Atma. This Atma means what? Self-evident Atma. That's how this. Whenever Eshaha word is used, means this. This means which is evident. And here, the self is evident means self-evident. And therefore, self is which is self-evident. That Atma alone is, abides in this space in Buddhi. In space in Buddhi means in Buddhi. Swamiji, I am filling up water in the pot. So you are filling up water in the space in the pot, okay? And therefore, in space in Buddhi means in Buddhi. Because this creates a problem. But Shastra says, therefore, we will have to say that way. So, Vyomni Brahmapure Eshaha Atma Pratishtitaha. So, this self-evident Atma abides in this space in Buddhi, which is the city of Brahman, Brahmapure. And so, it does not mean, Brahman is located in the Buddhi. You know very well. It is where Atma is seated and in the Buddhi. And therefore, this Buddhi is called Brahmapura. Well, it is not like that. Buddhi is a place where Atma can be recognized, can be known. Atma manifests there in the form of a consciousness, and that's how Buddhi is called Brahmapura, where Brahman exists, meaning Brahman is recognized. Not that Brahman is located in the Buddhi. Generally, when we say this city means a particular person, definitely resides in the city, exists in the city, located in the city. No, but this is not here that way. So Brahmapura means that definitely don't think this Buddhi is Brahmapura, has been told like that. So Buddhi is a place. Buddhi is a city where Brahman exists or Brahman is located. Brahman is all pervading, and therefore we'll have to change it to, well, Buddhi is a place where Brahman manifests as consciousness and recognized as consciousness. Brahman is recognized. Nowhere else can be recognized, nowhere else you can recognize Brahman. Nowhere else you can recognize Brahman. If you have a question, I invite the questions later. So, Brahman exists in the Buddhi as consciousness in every thought as well as in the space of consciousness that is free from thoughts. Means, basically any cognition takes place in the Buddhi, Brahman is right there in the cognition. If cognition is not there, Brahman is right there without cognition also as a sakshi of that absence of cognition. And therefore, whether a cognition is there, whether a cognition is not there, Brahman is right there in the Buddhi as the witness. It is manifest in the Buddhi and you can recognize as a sakshi. Not Brahman exists in the Buddhi. And so, but then why word Vyomni, why the space word is used here? So word Vyoman is used to point out ultimately that it accommodates everything. So just as, because it has been told Vyomni Brahmapure, in the space obtaining in the Buddhi, right? So in the space of one's Buddhi means in the Buddhi only it is available. But why the word space is used is because like the space accommodates everything, like everything is accommodated in the space, all the kinds of cognitions are well definitely accommodated in the consciousness and obtaining in the Buddhi. So that consciousness, that is how it is called Chidambaraha. Ambaraha means a space, Chit means the consciousness. So Chidambaraha means basically Brahman is called Chidambaraha. Brahman is also like a space which accommodates everything. All kinds of cognitions. And by cognitions, whole world has come. That's what I am going to say. Whole world. Brahman, Swamiji, Brahman basically pervades everything. That's true. That's very true. So Brahman is everywhere. That's true. But how can you recognize, well, it is in it is everywhere. So where one recognizes everything, there itself you have to recognize Brahman. So whole world is, well, but where you recognize? Here in Buddhi. So then where Brahman has to be recognized? Here itself. Where you recognize a whole world, there itself you have to recognize Brahman, because Brahman pervades everything. So please understand this. This Buddhi is the only place, and that too Buddhi of a human being is a Brahmapura. That is the place where Brahman is recognized. Nowhere else. People try to see, but Swamiji, you only were telling. So now the whole blame will come on me. Now, because you were telling, Sadeva Somidamagra Asit Ekamiva Dvityam, we still remember. You said this existence alone pervades everything, and therefore here also you can appreciate existence, and name and form is a mithya, but the existence which is nityam, which is eternal, with any name and form it will be always there, Sat will be always there, and therefore you can recognize Brahman here also. But that's not true. But Brahman is basically consciousness, and therefore that existence is consciousness, or consciousness is existence. That is what you require, and that consciousness manifests as consciousness in the Buddhi. And therefore basically definitely you require. No, but Swamiji, you said Brahman is all pervading. Yeah, that's true, all pervading. But that all pervading means this entire creation. Where do you recognize this creation? Well, I recognize in the Buddhi. There itself you recognize Brahman. Okay? And therefore, basically where one recognizes everything, there alone one has to recognize Brahman, because Brahman pervades everything. And therefore, Buddhi is a place where everything else is recognized and Brahman also is recognized. And that is how Brahman accommodates everything, because whole thing is recognized here itself and due to Brahman. So Brahman has to accommodates everything. That's how they have used the word space. Vyomni Brahmapure. So Brahman accommodates all cognitions by which you recognize the world. And even absence of cognition. Well, still Brahman is right there as a Sakshi, and therefore Buddhi is a place which is called Upalabdhisthanam. This is a Bhashyakara uses this. Bhashyakara loves this word. Whenever word Buddhi or Guha comes, he immediately writes Upalabdhisthanam. Upalabdhisthanam is a place of recognition. Buddhi is not a place where Brahman is located, even though the word Brahmapura is there. But Brahmapura means where Brahman is, it's not that Brahman is located, but it is the place where Brahman is recognized as consciousness. And for all pervasive Brahman, there cannot be any location. Anyway, but why Divye? Divye Brahmapure Vyomni. Divye. Why Divye? Because this Divya, word Div Dhatu is there. You must be knowing this. Dev means heaven actually. And that has come from the root Div. Div means to illumine, to shine, to be effulgent, etc. From that word Devas are considered to be effulgent beings, etc. etc. But anyway, so Divya, which is an adjective to Brahmapure, Buddhi. So here Brahman is there in the Brahmapura, which is Divi, means which is heaven. So Brahman is available in the heaven. All pervading Brahman is not available there, and therefore we will have to give another meaning to this word Divya. So Brahman is not somewhere in the heaven, etc. So here it wants to indicate that, which is of the nature of effulgence. So Divya Brahmapure means the Buddhi which is of the nature of effulgence, which is of the nature of illumination, which is conscious. Buddhi is conscious. How? Because consciousness is manifest in the Buddhi, and therefore Buddhi is conscious. So in that conscious, so Divya Brahmapure means in the Buddhi which is conscious, Brahman is as though located, means Brahman is recognized. Naturally, if consciousness manifests in the Buddhi, then only you will recognize consciousness in the every cognition, right? Pratibodha viditam matam, or absence of cognition. So then as a witness, so right there, every cognition means thought plus consciousness. So every cognition has a consciousness. Because how the cognition means because of which, like pot cognition and then camera cognition and this cognition and that cognition. Okay, but pot cognition through which you recognize the pot, right? And cot cognition by which you recognize the cot. So do you think that the mind which is just a thought can recognize anything? No, it needs a consciousness, and therefore definitely consciousness is present in the mind, which has manifested in the mind. We are going to say the whole mind is basically ultimately is non-separate from consciousness, but that's later. But right now, we'll say this. So any mind, varieties of the thoughts are there, and the consciousness get reflected into that. The whole Buddhi itself is a conscious due to the manifestation of consciousness. And then every thought, of course, will definitely have a consciousness, reflected consciousness, and therefore it becomes a cognition. So in every cognition, pratibodha viditam matam. So may you recognize a cognition which is invariably there. Understand, in every cognition there is a variable factor and there is an invariable factor. That's what we will be seeing now. So, Brahman is as though located in the Buddhi, and so, means it is recognized there. Everything is located in Brahman. There is a question of, Brahman is located in Buddhi. Everything is located in consciousness. Anyway, everything is located in Brahman. That is how it is Brahman. That's how it is Brahman. Why? What is that? What is that? What do you say? Well, this is because it is limitless. If it is limitless, everything is accommodated in Brahman. The space is accommodated in Brahman. We have seen that. I hope you remember that at this moment. Space is Brahman is not located in space. Space is located in Brahman. How can you say? If Brahman is located in space, suppose space is not there. Suppose. How can you say suppose? Think it that way, that there is no space. If Brahman is located in space, and if the space itself is not there, the Adhara, which can locate Brahman, is not there, where is Brahman? Where is Brahman then? Like my papers are there right now on this table. So table is Adhara and this is Adheya. Papers are Adheya, located, and table is the one which is a location, which provides a location to these papers. If table itself is not there, where is the question of now papers are getting located? So then now think, if space is a one which locates Brahman, if space is not there, Brahman also cannot be there, right? Brahman also cannot be there. But that's not the case. It's a ulta case. If space is, Brahman is. Space is not, Brahman is. And therefore space basically exists in absence of a space. And Brahman exists in absence of a space. And therefore, my God, space is located in Brahman, not Brahman is located in space. Right? And therefore, Brahman does not exist in Buddhi. Not this Buddhi. Your Buddhi, my Buddhi, and everyone's Buddhi. Even on the Buddhi of a lion, and everyone is located in one Brahman. Okay? Because of which every Buddhi exists. Because of which every Buddhi is conscious. That consciousness is one which provides an existence and illumination to everyone are located in there. And therefore it is called Vyomni. It accommodates everything. You can understand it that way also. Or you say Brahmapure Vyomni means this Buddhi, which is like space. Correct, no problem. That also no problem. Just as space accommodates everything, then Buddhi is Buddhi is a place where everything, whole world is recognized. And therefore, ultimately, where one recognizes everything, and there alone one has to recognize even Brahman also, because Brahman pervades everything. And so, okay, this much. Now I am coming to this mantra further. This Atma is Manomaya. You were talking about that Ishvara, and from where? From Ishvara you have come down to this Atma. Yeah, I have come down to this Atma. It seems there are two things for you now. One is Atma, self-evident Atma, which manifests in the Buddhi, etc. And you were talking, yes, Sarvagnya, Sarvavit, etc. And Yasya Yesha Mahima Bhuvi, etc., etc. So we feel now there are two things. One is Atma, self-evident Atma, consciousness, which is manifest in the Buddhi, etc., etc. And that is there. And the second thing is this Ishvara. No. Ishvara covers one physical body. Ishvara covers one's mind. Ishvara covers one's thoughts. Ishvara covers everything. And therefore Ishvara covers my body, my senses, my mind, everything. And same Ishvara is the Atma alone. And therefore all that is there is one Ishvara alone. There are no two things here. And therefore this idea occurs because there is a identification. So due to that, due to ignorance, with this particular body, I carved out of the Ishvara's creation. I just, make it separate from Ishvara's creation. And you say, this is me. And that's the issue. Otherwise, this is Ishvara alone. Your thought is Ishvara. Your mind is Ishvara. Your senses are Ishvara. And the very consciousness behind it. Because this body, mind, sense complex is non-separate the consciousness. And therefore, the consciousness which is here also is Ishvara. Abba. And therefore, where are you now? That's a problem. That we will see later. Anyway, so that is where the problem is. Where am I? Other than ignorance, there is no existence. Other than ignorance, once due to ignorance from Ishvara Srushti, you basically draw a line, a boundary, that this is me. This due to ignorance. That is the existence of Jiva. There is no individuality at all. We'll see that. So this is how it is comparing. So whatever is there is just Ishvara alone. That is how Pujya Swami is to tell what is Ishvara. So then we feel where is this Jiva? But Jiva exists in ignorance, due to ignorance. Telling this body, mind, senses as me and telling them as mine. It's part of Ishvara. Because this is an intelligent manifestation of that Sarvavit, Parameshvara. So body also is Ishvara and mind also is Ishvara. And therefore, there are no two entities here, Ishvara and this Atma. Everything is Ishvara ultimately, and the consciousness obtained also is Ishvara alone. Anyway, Okay, now with this understanding I am going further. This Atma is Manomaya. See now? So he has the mind as Upadhi, naturally. Because mind is a manifestation of Ishvara and therefore mind is Upadhi. And so due to this Upadhi, well, this Atma becomes a thinker. So this consciousness called thinker. This is a Vyashti Atma here. And Samashti Atma is Sarvagnya Sarvavit. But anyway, Shankaracharya ji says Atma is recognized by these modifications of the mind and hence it is called Manomaya. So, well, basically recognize modifications means all these thoughts which keep changing. So the same Atma, well, which is free from any Upadhi, really speaking, because the Upadhis are Mithya, but anyway, they are the manifestation of the same Ishvara ultimately, and therefore all the thought modification, well, of the mind, along with that Atma, along with that, well, thought modifications is called Manomaya. So any thought which obtains in the mind reveals the presence of consciousness which is invariable. And so, and that is where this Anvaya Vyatireka we will have to take, Anvaya Vyatireka Nyaya. So every thought which keeps on changing, but the consciousness which manifests in the buddhi, well, never changes. So thought keeps on changing, but consciousness is invariable. Thoughts are variable. And that's how they are called Manomayaha. Mayaha means basically it shows a vikara, modification. And so, like we call pot as a mrunmayaha. So it's a vikara, it's a modification of this clay. So same way here, this Atma is called Manomayaha because Atma, this basically, which has manifested in the form of this mind, well, Atma, due to his Maya Upadhi, ultimately as being a Sarvagnya Sarvavit, has manifested in the form of this mind also. And so all the modification in the mind also, well, definitely the Atma is ever present there as an invariable factor. As an invariable factor. And the degree of reality enjoyed by the thought is different. And well, when a thought is there, consciousness is, Atma is there. When a thought is not there, consciousness Atma is still there. And so consciousness Atma is present, well, irrespective of the thoughts, irrespective of the cognitions. And so, well, definitely the Atma which is present in the buddhi is a Satyam, which is invariably there, whether thought is there or not. And that is correct. In a deep sleep state, when the mind is sleeping, while no thoughts are there, still consciousness shines as a witness of the mind, witness of the whole thing, witness of even absence of thought, let's say, witness of absence of thoughts, absence of cognitions. And well, waking state, dream state, when thoughts are there, still consciousness is right there to illumine the thought, to give existence to the thought, and therefore the whole mind is non-separate from the consciousness. And therefore, well, ultimately, that's manifestation of Ishvara ultimately. And therefore, every thought is a non-separate from consciousness. That's an invariable factor. Thought which keeps on changing is a variable factor. And so, when thought is, consciousness is Anvaya. When thought is not, consciousness is Vyatireka. And so, you can understand what is, I have told you this before, Anvaya Vyatireka logic, and that is to ascertain what is Satyam, what is Mithya. And therefore, you are right there as a witness in the varieties of the thoughts when they are present, and where they are not there, you are right there as a witness of the absence of the cognitions or thoughts. So, this consciousness, Atma, is present irrespective of the thoughts. It is unlike the chair and the table, well, each of which will be there in absence of the other. But in clay pot, this is another example for that to understand, pot is not independent of the clay. And well, one does not see a pot without the clay or some other material, whatever. But pot has no doubt a reality of being available for transaction, but it does not have a reality of its own. Clay alone has a reality. Same way, so clay is called invariable, and name and form called pot is variable. Similarly, the variable thought, well, has no independent existence, no independent reality, and the invariable consciousness alone. which is present in the buddhi, because of which the buddhi is conscious and able to recognize whole world, well, that Atma is an invariable factor, is a Satyam. And buddhi or a thought is just its upadhi, which is non-separate from the consciousness. Therefore, Atma is called Manomaya here, because Atma alone manifests in the form of various thoughts in the mind. Because the very existence of a thought is due to the consciousness, and the illumination of a thought, of course, that's how it becomes, it gains a status of a cognition. It's due to consciousness. Otherwise, it is jadam. Mere thought is jadam. It's part of the mind. It is jadam. It cannot illuminate anything. And therefore, but it gains a status of a cognition by which you recognize everything in the world. While that's due to consciousness. So consciousness alone gives an existence to every thought, and consciousness alone, illumines every thought, and therefore definitely the every thought is non-separate from the consciousness, because they share the existence. They share the existence. The thought and consciousness share the existence, and because like the pot and clay share the existence, that's how it is. Pot is not independent so far as existence is concerned, and therefore Atma alone manifests in the form of, like clay alone manifests in the form of pot, same way consciousness alone, Atma alone manifests, self-evident Atma, which is consciousness, manifests in the form of whole thought modification. Therefore Atma is called Manomaya. And therefore, but from Atma, how alone this, how the mind has come? Ishvara. Ishvara. Please understand. With his Maya Upadhi, alone has manifested in the form of this whole creation. And therefore, either you say Atma, either you say Ishvara, ultimately it's one thing alone. Because consciousness with this Upadhi called Maya, being Sarvavit, being all-knowing, even in detail, has manifested in the form of the entire creation, including my mind, body, sense, complete. So I use word my. It's just a ignorance. It's all Ishvara. It's all Ishvara. My body, your body is Ishvara. My mind, your mind is Ishvara. My mind, my thought and your thought also is all Ishvara. Everything is ultimately Ishvara. Whole manifestation is Ishvara's manifestation through his Maya Upadhi. That's how he's called Sarvavit. And therefore, definitely, so whatever is here, same Atma or Ishvara is called Manomaya. Either you say from the standpoint of consciousness, or either you stay from the standpoint of Ishvara also. Looking, taking Upadhi along with, no problem. Still, Ishvara alone manifests in the form of mind. So, Ishvara is called Manomaya, or Atma, you can say, is called Manomaya. Ishvara and Atma are no two separate entities. So, there is so-called entity called Jiva that is not there, which I am going to talk to you later. And so, this Atma is Manomaya, first thing. Same Atma is called Prana Sharira Neta. Neta. Ni dhatu is there, right? Ni means to lead, to carry. Neta means one who is a leader or one who carries. Either way you can say. So, Atma is a Neta. Atma carries what? Prana Sharira. So, one who leads this subtle body. Because Prana means which is subtle, and it is Sharira also. So, subtle body we should take. Okay? Prana means basically, all sense organs are called Prana. Organs of action are called Prana. Mukhya Prana also is a Prana. So, primary on secondary, everything is ultimately Prana. So, Prana means you have to understand subtle. And Sharira means body, so subtle body. So, Prana Sharira Neta, this Atma alone is the one who leads this subtle body. Where? So, Bhashyakara says, Pranasya Shariram cha Prana Shariram Tasya Ayam Neta Sthulat Sharirat Sharirantaram Prati. So, basically this Atma, leads this subtle body, Sthulat Sharirat, from this gross body, it leads to the subtle body leads from this gross body to another gross body. That's how it is. Anyway, so prana sharira refers to subtle body. And subtle body, well, does not leave physical body. Then who lives? So this Atma conditioned by the subtle body called Jiva lives. And therefore definitely subtle body lives. So this, so this Jiva lives this physical body. Well, definitely, but Jiva is nothing but this condition, this Atma, self-evident Atma consciousness conditioned by this subtle body alone is called Jiva. Well, definitely leads that subtle body from this gross body to the another gross body. And so we have to, from the Upadhi standpoint, we say this Atma leads. Okay? Atma goes from one subtle body to the, from one gross body to the other gross body. Actually, if you don't count Upadhi, well, then there is no question of going for the Atma anywhere. It is Brahman. And therefore, basically, the Upadhi cannot, exist the body by itself. And so, we will have to say, the Atma conditioned by this subtle body lives. And Atma also cannot exit anything because it is all pervasive. So, you have to take Atma along with the body. So, from the standpoint of Upadhi, you have to take Atma is gone. So, they give an example also. Like, this subtle body, movement of a subtle body is like the movement of a pot space. Really, it's really wonderful. We feel the pot space moves, right? But pot space moves means what? See, space cannot move. And pot space, you just think, without pot, how does a pot space move? Pot space moves. Cannot. And therefore, the pot space moves when the pot basically is moved from one place to the other. And the space that is all pervasive also does not move. Same way, since the pot moves, well, from the standpoint of pot, we say pot space moves. Actually, the space cannot move. But still we say space moves from the standpoint of Upadhi called pot. Same way, Atma moves. Everyone says, practically everyone says, Atma has left this body. Everyone says. No one is an exception, including Vedantin. And the issue also is there. Atma is all pervading, then how Atma leaves the body? So we have to make it clear. Like space. Space which is all pervasive cannot move. But still space moves. From the standpoint of Upadhi called pot. And when you take into account this Upadhi, you find yes, pot space moves. Pot space moves. Same way, well, Atma, definitely doesn't move, being Brahman, all pervasive. But from the standpoint of a Upadhi called subtle body, we have given another name also called Jiva. Yeah. So basically subtle body moves. And so from the standpoint of a subtle body, the same Atma which we call Jiva moves from one gross body to the other gross body. Bhashyakara very beautifully explained. Asmat sthulat sharirantaram prati. So here it has been very nicely said. This Atma which is self-evident, which is consciousness, which is Brahman, which is Manomayaha, which is in the form of varieties of the thought modifications. And from one Upadhi called mind, he is called Manomayaha. Now same Atma is called Prana Sharira Neta. He is a leader. He carries. So Atma goes along with one subtle body, leaving behind this gross body, goes to the other body. So from the standpoint of a subtle body, which is called Upadhi, Atma is called here a leader, carries, etc. Otherwise, Atma does not carry anything. It has not to go anywhere, it has not to go anywhere also. So anyway, so Atma is called Prana Sharira Neta. This is all a definition of Atma from the standpoint of various Upadhis, basically. Earlier, one part of the subtle body has been told from the mind, standpoint of mind. And then now it has been taken from the standpoint of Prana. And Prana means all I have told you, all organs of action, all sense organs. and Mukhya Prana also, Prana, Pana, Vyana, all. So whole, so Atma's, from the standpoint of a subtle body, has been given the name called Manomaya or Prana Sharira Nita. And then, now from the standpoint of a gross body, we are ready. Anne pratishtitah, it says, Anne pratishtitah. Atma abides in this physical body. Annam means this food actually, means Annamaya. So in this physical body, Atma is pratishtitah, Atma abides in this physical body. This physical body, which is a modification of food, and that is the food which is eaten, then gets modified into this body. It's a modification. So that's how we call Annamaya. Mayat means Vikara. Manomaya, Vikara, right? Modification of the mind. Same way this Atma is now abided into this physical body. Hridayam Sannidhaya, presiding over the Buddhi. Hridayam means Buddhi, and Sannidhaya means presiding. So this Atma abides in this body as a Adhishtanan, the basis for the Buddhi. Since the Buddhi resides in this the subtle body, is located in this physical body, and then definitely Atma manifest in the subtle body. Well, definitely we can say also from the standpoint of physical body that Atma is as though abiding in this physical body, located in this physical body. Actually, it's not true. All the physical bodies are in consciousness. Very elements are non-separate from the consciousness. Consciousness through his Maya, Upadhi, Ishvara alone manifest in the form of elements. And therefore all elementals are also non-separate. They are manifestation of Ishvara. Or they are non-separate from the consciousness ultimately. Therefore consciousness is not basically located in this body. Bodies are located in consciousness. Bodies are located in space, and space is located in consciousness, and therefore all bodies along with the space is located in consciousness. This we have done it. This kind of a thing we have done before. And therefore Anne pratishtitah. So the Atma abides in this body as Adhishtanam, the basis for the Buddhi, as the one who provides existence and consciousness to Buddhi and to even the gross body also. So I think this is enough. You may be wondering, this class is quite different from Panchadashi, where simple mithya and this is a Mahavakya, and so we will have to be very clear. I am very much impressed. The way they have narrated is not this Bhagatyaga. No, Ishvara also is mithya. Remove mithya part of the Ishvara. Only consciousness you keep it. And here also Jiva also remove something, and that you keep it consciousness. So where is the Ishvara? There is no Ishvara. Then what are you experiencing here? What does wise person do? What is in his mind? What is this Ishavasam idam sarvam? What is this? What is this? Where is Ishvara then? Because you have removed Ishvara. Ishvara is mithya, only Brahman is Satyam. No. Jiva is negated. Individuality is negated. What is left over is Ishvara. That is what is established here. What is left over is just Ishvara. Once ignorance goes, there is no more Jiva, no more individuality. Therefore, I still remember Pujya Swamiji saying, whatever is there in a wise person's mind and whatever he sees, and everything is Ishvara for him. He is in Ishvara Srishti. And he describes also, after Jivan Mukti, he describes the creation and describes it as a manifestation of Ishvara in Dhanyashtakam. So this is how it is. So then how? Still you are retaining Ishvara? Yeah, we are retaining Ishvara. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.